Muy buenas tardes, señor José Díaz, ¿cómo está?
Nearly 300,000 Puerto Ricans came to Florida after Hurricane Maria smashed into the island in 2017, and many stayed. That's thousands of potential voters in a state that famously swings from one party to another by a few hundred votes.
El poder político lo tienen los puertorriqueños, sobre todo en el área de Florida Central. Es una comunidad que es ciudadana y automáticamente puede inscribirse para votar.
Puerto Rican residents can't vote in presidential elections, so for many of these new Floridians, this will be their first time casting this vote. Mi Familia Vota is trying to register this burgeoning voting bloc along the I-4 corridor, where about 23% of the state's registered voters live. But it turns out, registering folks is easier than actually getting them to vote.
Cuando vienen acá, se inscriben inmediatamente, pero sucede algo, que se inscriben pero no votan en la misma proporción de la inscripción electoral. Pienso que se debe a que los dos procesos electorales en Puerto Rico y en Estados Unidos son absolutamente distintos. Entonces, cuando ellos vienen, consideran que van a encontrar en la boleta las mismas posiciones que eligen en Puerto Rico y resulta que el sistema es totalmente distinto.
Because of their sheer numbers, Cuban Americans are the most powerful Latino voting bloc in the state, and they tend to vote Republican. But now with the Puerto Rican diaspora, the power center is shifting.
I was really worried about the fact that I have realized that the Puerto Rican voters in Florida that came in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria and the aftermath of the earthquakes in 2020 were not engaged enough in Florida politics. We come from a culture where 80% of the Puerto Ricans back home in Puerto Rico, they go out and vote.
Edwin Prado, an entertainment lawyer, spent the summer trying to spread the Just Vote message. He got a tour bus and a little help from his friends.
Porque si los puertorriqueños de Florida votamos, decidimos nosotros.
We break down the statistics. Florida has been decided in the last 3 presidential elections by less than 2%. You guys are 5% of the vote. If you go out, you might elect the new president of the United States.
How have you seen either the Democratic Party of Florida or the Republican Party of Florida, or both, reaching out to your community?
Well, it's sad to say, but I have to tell you that both main parties have not done enough to register Puerto Rican voters. I can tell you that my experience is that the Republican Party are not eager to register them because they think they're going to be Democrats. But I don't think that the Democratic Party puts enough efforts.
Polls do show that Democratic nominee Joe Biden is more popular with the Puerto Ricans in the state. His campaign tells Vice News they're not taking that for granted. They're not only advertising in Florida, but in Puerto Rico as well, urging people there to talk to friends and family on the mainland. Biden's campaign is also flooding the airwaves with ads, far outspending their opponent.
El presidente abandonó al pueblo puertorriqueño en la isla y cuando llegaron a Orlando fueron abandonados nuevamente.
President Trump's administration blocked aid for Puerto Rico that Congress approved years ago. But with Florida in jeopardy, he's released the aid and now claims credit.
Last month, I also announced an additional $13 billion in disaster relief for Puerto Rico. I'm not going to say the best, but I'm just about the best thing that ever happened to Puerto Rico. You better vote for me, Puerto Rico. You better vote for me.
The governor of Puerto Rico has endorsed Trump and asked Puerto Ricans in the state to vote for him. But he might not have gotten anywhere with folks who can actually vote, like Omaira Otero.
For me personally, it's just to take out Trump. Definitely. I want him out.
Why is that?
I think he is a horrible person. He's very disrespectful, and he does not understand what he's doing. He went to Puerto Rico and threw paper towels to people. There were people dying. And then there were Puerto Ricans just receiving it. And that just blows my mind. It gave me a lot of anger really, when I was in my house without water, without light, when my father had to make 8 hours line just to get $20 of gas. And there he was, just throwing paper towels, just like that.